And now, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
And yes, welcome to the Consumer Quarterback Show, all about helping you become a more informed consumer, helping you understand your buying decisions, making you more street smart here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And we got a great lineup for you today here on the program. We're going to have Mike Murphy in the house. He's our automotive expert, owner of Murphy's Auto Group. Also, Mark Hay, 21st Century Financial Group, financial advisor. And Brent Shriver coming on as well, new guest to the program, new expert contributor, wildlife removal company here in Tampa Bay. Plus, our feel-good story of the day, pretty cool. 14-year-old crowned America's top young scientist for headphones that treat ear infections with blue light. Pretty cool story coming up in our feel-good story of the day. Every day we like to tell you about our listings as well. We are a top 100 ranked real estate team here in Tampa Bay. We help our sellers profit more and sell faster, utilizing our radio, TV innovation with online marketing. We got a hot property listing here at 37351 Neighbors Path. This is a property in Zephyr Hills, Pasco County. Great opportunity to own real estate. Updated, beautiful property on the interior. Granite countertops, updated bathrooms as well. This is in Pasco County, almost 3,500 square feet. You got a mother-in-law suite there. Open concept floor plan. Large yard as well. 1.2 acre yard. 6 bedrooms. 4.5 bath, granite countertops, beautiful property at 37351 Neighbors Path, Zephyr Hills, Florida. One of our hot real estate listings from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. Next property is 7014 Crown Lake Drive. This is another great opportunity to own real estate. This one's in Hillsborough County, East Hillsborough County in Gibsonton. This one's 1,752 square feet, no HOA or CDD, and you have a gorgeous staircase, new AC unit, as well as 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bath, actually a low HOA and no CDD. Granite countertops, great opportunity here at 7014 Crown Lake Drive in Gibsonton, Florida, Hillsborough County. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
This is God's country.
All right, welcome in, Mike Murphy. Welcome back, sir.
Great to be back.
Awesome, man. Thanks for coming in. I like the sweater too. Waddle waddle.
You know, Tua, when he plays, the entire game is undefeated.
What's that?
So Tua, when he plays the entire game, because he started one game and got concussed.
Yeah.
But when he plays the entire game, they're 7-0, and they're
Nice.
0-3 without him. So
Wow.
shout out to the boys. You know, somebody in Miami's doing well.
Yeah. Florida teams representing. I always, growing up, I always rooted for the Florida teams. I didn't care if it was, Florida Gators, Florida State. I just wanted somebody from Florida to win.
I have the same idea with NFL, right? So, I mean, I don't care if it's the Jags, the Bucks, or the Dolphins. Obviously, Bucks, Dolphins are a little bit more important than the Jags. But do you see the game in Germany?
I did part of it, the beginning.
Yeah, I know it was a little while ago, but it was amazing just to think about football now reaching another country. I believe if I remember correctly, Brady has played in America, Mexico, the UK, and now Germany.
Yeah, something like the first player to do 3 different countries or something like that, 3 or 4 countries.
Yeah.
Pretty cool, man.
Yeah, well, we're blessed here in Tampa Bay, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Things are looking good. Tell us a little bit more about Murphy Auto Group.
Yeah, so Murphy Auto Group, specifically in our area here in Florida, has a Miracle Toyota, one location, import dealership, but we do sell hundreds and hundreds of cars a month. So we're located just minutes south of Orlando on I-4 and 27. We have a huge selection of used cars, but what's unique about us is we're a for purpose, kind of instead of for profit type of organization. So yes, we want to sell cars and do all that type of stuff and service cars, but we love giving back to the community. Each month is a different charity, and we're just coming out of October, which was our Cancer Awareness Month, where we teamed up with Multiple Myeloma Foundation, which is unfortunately the cancer that took my dad.
Oh man, yep. It's cancer is one of the dreaded words in the English any language. It's the C word, right? I mean, it's a tough one. That's one of the worst that you can hear.
You know what, though? It's one of those things that unifies almost everybody.
Right.
When you say cancer sucks, rarely somebody's like, no, it doesn't.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd love to meet that person if
exactly.
they're out there. Maybe call in.
Yeah,
But it's fun, right? I think the secret to selling anything is to market yourself And if you can market yourself through doing the right thing, then that's kind of what we think is for purpose instead of for profit type of business.
Absolutely. The company culture. I think a lot of people, when I'm sitting with my listing appointments and I'm talking about the culture that we have and some of the things that I even had a first-hand experience this last time with the hurricane in South Florida. 4 of my family members were affected, and KW Cares donated $5,000 to each one of those folks. So it was, my dad, my brothers, what a cool company to be there when people need them,
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting. If we can shift for a second, you touch on something amazing. Employee retention is something that all business owners really need to start to pay attention to.
Right.
And one of the easiest ways to keep your employees is to let your employees know you care.
Yep.
So each one of our dealerships, all of our companies actually, it's about 12, 15, counting how you slice the pie, has an employee hardship fund to cover issues like that. And for the business owners, the secret for our role is to not have a role. Let it be a fixed amount you donate monthly, and then let the employees pick and choose through a board of 3 to 5 members what issues are going on. Because similar to your situation, we were affected by the hurricane, and Florida's beautiful and the houses are amazing, but with these raising prices, I'm shocked how many of my Florida employees are living in manufactured homes. And as a hurricane comes through, even a tropical storm, that's a significantly different point of view than maybe mine and yours and most of our listeners.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you just joined us, we're talking with Mike Murphy here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, auto expert, contributor for the Consumer Quarterback Show. 50 different show partners. That's the goal of the show, is to educate you in these different areas of business and finance and all types of different buying decisions, almost 10 years on air. And Mike is our expert contributor for all things, automotive. So what are you seeing in the automotive industry? We see, credit card debt is up. I'm looking at a chart here. Auto debt seems to be up. Of course, the cost of money is gone up significantly. What's the latest on your side of the?
Well, it's really interesting because all of that matters, but it's only affecting kind of a free market, and a free market is always driven by supply and demand.
Okay.
So the number one effect on automotive is still the semiconductor chip problem.
Yes.
We are still way down on inventory. So here's my prediction. If it was Murphy Damas here for a second, I would say in December, you're going to see a false return of inventory. My Toyota stores have averaged 3 days worth of inventory, and we're going to get significantly more cars because, hey, it's Toyotathon, and all your other import manufacturers are going to follow suit. So December is going to be an amazing time to buy a car, not necessarily because of the price or interest rate you're going to get, but because selection will return. So if you want something other than white or beige or black or like the base colors, or you want something with unique options, this would be the time to find that vehicle.
Yeah, that's interesting. And so the semiconductor, I want to go back there for a minute. Isn't that related, a lot of that, where those precious minerals come from? I mean, a lot of some overseas, and then you've got China, kind of making its way into Africa and to other places. So I think that's making it even harder. And then I want to talk about diesel and fuel later in a second follow-up question. But talk to me about that semiconductors. What do you think is behind that?
Okay, so for something so small, they're very complex to make, and then they're somewhat of a oligarchy on the model. So if we look at it from an automotive retail point of view, the best chips are made in Taiwan. Kia, Hyundai makes their own chips. The Koreans basically make their own everything, from the ships that the vehicles come to America in to pulling the iron ore out of the earth. Very impressive organization. So they really don't have a problem. If you drive by Hyundai, Kia lots, you'll see they're full. So Taiwan is made up of the silicone dome, which is their semiconductor technology realms. As they ran out of surplus of parts, supplies, demand on their supply chain through COVID, that's probably where you're thinking the bottleneck came from.
Right.
Well, now it's at max capacity. They can't make up for any lost capacity. So from an automotive point of view, they're making enough semiconductor chips to sell enough cars to keep up with demand, but they can't backfill what was gone. So as an industry average, we used to have 2 or 3 months worth of cars to look at.
Right.
Remember when you used to go and kick tires?
Yep.
And there'd be thousands and thousands of cars if you were at Miracle Toyota on Haines City?
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Every lot looks bare now.
Yeah.
So we're just keeping up with demand. We're not beating it. And it'll get there. And what'll happen is you'll see American-made semiconductors, and they're going to be fantastic, probably better than Taiwan. But it takes like 4 years to build a plant.
Yeah.
So I know that the largest construction project going on, I believe, in the United States right now is in Arizona and is a semiconductor plant. Should be done.
Wow.
I know it got fast tracked, but it should be done in 2024.
That'd be awesome. Let's onshore. All those years we've heard about offshoring, during the 80s and 90s. I mean, you heard a lot about that. Even as a kid, I remember thinking, oh, man, why does everything seem to be made in China?
Yeah.
Right? So it's like so many things were offshore, and I think it was part of the uniparty, both Democrats, Republicans, but, taking the money, taking the lobbyists, doing the courting there. And then, here we are now, 2020, 2016, you start thinking, the whole Make America Great started coming back. Let's onshore jobs. Let's keep some jobs here. So that's good news then, it sounds like.
I think so. No, maybe in a geopolitical or in a global point of view, maybe there's an opportunity for some joint ventures with these Taiwanese companies.
Right.
Why not? If China's going to invade and take all your wealth, why not start to build now in America? You've got President Xi, who basically said it's not if, it's when. And you hear our advisors saying it could be the end of this year. Have you heard that?
Wow. Well, I saw part of that conference the other day. I didn't listen to the whole thing. It's kind of busy, full-time real estate. I do a radio show, so I try to research on these things. But tell me more. What was that about? With Xi and Biden.
Yeah. So basically, Xi is said that it's inevitable that Taiwan will be reunited with China.
Wow.
And then Biden says basically our one China policy is never going to change, which is probably what we're supposed to say. And that's fine. That's all politics. Think about what the Japanese and Americans said to each other in November 1941. Right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a peace offering and a whole bunch of fun stuff. When we talk about people in the CIA, and I don't know if you knew, but our CIA director met with Russian's intelligence officer yesterday. So he was kind of busy at the time. But, we have a real issue. If China invades Taiwan,
right.
It would have a significant effect on our business.
Yeah.
Now, the choke point for them is we would cut off their fuel.
Yeah. Well, I wonder what Hunter Biden's laptop says, too. I wonder if that has something to play in there. But, yeah, I've got a clip I want to play about the China threat. Somehow we ended up on China. I want to play this clip.
Is it your belief, Catherine Engelbrecht, that the Chinese Communist Party is a competitor to the United States, or is it a sworn enemy and an existential threat to the Chinese people and to the citizens of this country, ma'am?
It is the latter. China is an existential threat to this country, and what we have uncovered extends well beyond just elections. It extends into public schooling, into some of our finest universities, into military, into government telecom. Our processes are being subverted, hidden in plain sight, and the fact that the federal government under the Biden administration won't take a stand to stop this, and in fact is covering it up, is treasonous.
So that Catherine Engelbrecht, she's the one that was just jailed by the FBI for True the Vote. She's with True the Vote, the company that did the research and all the cell phone pings around 2,000 mules, where there were ballot harvesting that happened during the election, the 2020 election. That is a very complex issue. United States, China. Man, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out, but I don't feel very comfortable with a president sitting at the helm that has known ties through his son's laptop that, of course, the FBI just ignores. Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
It's tough, but let me kind of give you my point of view here. If we look at it economically, if China wanted to wipe us out, wouldn't they be wiping out their largest consumer of their goods and services, which would just collapse their economy, which would destroy their people's ability to have anything that resembles a quality of life? So, I don't know. I think I go back to Bill Belichick when he got caught, right? If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Yeah.
So I think Chinese cheat, and they almost take pride in how well they cheat and hack and decode and mislead. But they're doing it to gain economic superiority. I think military superiority they can try to keep up with, but their soldiers will never, ever come close to an American veteran.
Right.
We've got 200 years of being really good at stuff.
Yeah,
they're still trying to figure it out. But can they build warships and aircraft carriers? Yeah, absolutely. But I think they want our money, not our land and our people.
Well, maybe the thing that I look at is you look at in America the Democrats or Republicans. You look at the Rhino, right? The Uniparty. I think that uniparty could be potentially expanding into China. So now China will basically absorb the United States, and then you'll have, the big dogs up at the top that get to run everything. Potentially. The globalist, the Great Reset.
Sure. And I guess if we were conspiracy theorists, the Great Reset would be probably replacing a few overlords with different overlords. So instead of, Musk and Bezos and those type of people, would be,
and
with
Gates,
Cheese and Gates. Yeah, there's another great one to throw in there.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think that no matter where we're at, if we're in China or in America, they love buying cars. They love new cars.
Yeah.
And I'll sell to anybody.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what it comes back to, right? I mean, everybody's money's green, and that's what unfortunately happens as greed takes over. The ethics side kind of play, especially in Washington, D.C., right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm talking more about the political side. We got to take a quick break. When we come back, more with Mike Murphy, auto expert here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I want to throw up on the screen when you come back. You got to watch our live stream for this World's Wealth graphic. There's a World's Wealth graphic, and since we kind of went international here, I want to talk to you about this pretty cool graphic that breaks down where the world's wealth resides. U.S., China, number 1 and number 2. Find out about who's number 3, 4, 5, and 6 here coming up. Consumer Quarterback Show, more with Mike Murphy in studio. We'll be right back.
Hey, everybody, it's the Captain, Matt Bruce, and you're listening to my buddy, Brandon Rhymes, a Consumer Quarterback. Sell, Brandon, sell.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty. We always like to help you win in your real estate deals, buying, selling, or investing. You're leaving money on the table if you're not working with the Platinum MVP team. We like to feature our listings live on air. We got a hot listing here at 202 West Chester Hills. This is a beautiful property, great opportunity to own real estate at 202 West Chester Hills. This property is in Hillsborough County. It's a beautiful home, pool home. You've got almost 3,500 square foot, 5 bedrooms, 3 bath, 2-car garage. It's situated on a cul-de-sac, heated and saltwater pool enclosure, stainless steel appliances, granite countertops, brand new roof and AC units, and 202 West Chester Hills Lane in Valrico, one of our hot real estate listings from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. All right, we got a waterfront beauty here at 16400 Gulf Boulevard. This is right on the Gulf of Mexico. Beautiful property in North Reddington Beach, Pinellas County, 400 square foot condo, ceramic tile, oceanfront property, pool and beach access directly from your condo unit. Ceramic tile, covered balcony, excellent vacation rental as well. And you have views from your lanai of the pool and the Gulf of Mexico. Just a gorgeous listing from the Platinum MVP team, and it's just over $300,000. Great opportunity, great price. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Buy dirt, find one you can't live without.
And you can also buy dirt as well. We got a lot of vacant land listings as well, so reach out if you'd like to find out more about some of our vacant land, raw land listings. All right, we got Mike Murphy in the house, automotive expert, contributor, and let's throw that graphic up real quick. I want to go to that since we started talking international. We're going to look at the World's Wealth graphic. It's a pretty cool graphic that I came across on LinkedIn, and it shows the world's wealth broken down into basically the top cities or the top countries. United States, 145 trillion. China, 85 trillion. That is 50% of the entire planet's wealth. The world's wealth. The U.S. and China now account for half of the world's wealth in 2022. That according to the Visual Capitalist. And I guess the next one would be Japan, 25 trillion. India, 14.2 trillion. South Korea, 10 trillion. Taiwan, 5.9 trillion. Right on down the line. Actually, no, I went in the wrong order there. So what would that be? That would be Japan is 25 trillion. Let's see, what's the next biggest number? 16 trillion is the UK, Germany 17 trillion, France 16 trillion, Italy 11 trillion, Canada's 12 trillion, Australia 10 trillion. So there's a few right there in kind of that in the teens, but Japan is up there. But yeah, Mike, bringing it back to the auto industry, you see some of the correlation there where the auto industry kind of comes from, some of the inventory.
Yeah, I'm a numbers guy. That graph, second time I saw it, let me just point something out that I just noticed.
Yep.
What's not on there is global population. And let's just assume China makes up 35% of the people on Earth.
Okay.
And I think it's more than that, by the way.
Yep.
But that basically means that they're negative 16.6% over their global wealth. So 35% of the people make up 18.4% of the wealth. America makes up less than 5% of the world's population, but let's just call it 5 because we can't really count anybody exactly with the border being the way it is. But 5% is generating 31.5% the wealth, or 6 times the wealth of the average person.
Yeah.
So we're doing 12 times better than China right now on a per capita basis.
Exactly.
So definitely in the right country, right?
Yeah.
And I think we can steal a lot of jobs back from China, but what we can't do is get in a labor war with them.
Right.
Yes, they can have low wages, and we cannot compete person for person. But what if we competed robot to person?
Interesting.
I think we can bring a lot of jobs back, manufacturing, by really investing in robot technology.
Yeah, it's interesting too. You see some of the NBA guys. I forgot his name. Freedom. He goes by Freedom. Talking about the Uyghur population in China that didn't get brought up during the conference with Biden and Xi. But yeah, a lot of slave labor basically is kind of what your graph was pointing out, or your numbers there. If I'm kind of reading that correctly, it seems. Yeah, and you look at America. Hey, 330 plus million roughly. I mean, probably a few more million now with that open southern border. People pouring across every day. But yeah, those are interesting correlations you bring there. So Mike Murphy, he's our expert contributor for all things auto industry, automotive expert here throughout the Tampa Bay region, South Florida, or the southeast of the United States, Mike, right? 5 different locations,
That's right.
Is it?
Yeah, we're in Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, and hopefully next year we'll talk about where we're going next.
Nice. I love it, man. So we got about a minute left. I want to kick it back to you. Anything you wanted to touch on we didn't get to?
Yeah, I think one of the big things going on is, hey, I sell Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Toyota, Nissan. We have a lot of trucks. And trucks right now, if we look at total cost of ownership, like we've talked on your show before, the cost of diesel is crushing the average small business owner that has a subcontracting business that has, pickup trucks taking diesel. Take your diesel payment and take your car payment, add those together, come see me at any one of my 5 locations, and we're going to sit there and show you that maybe your car payment goes up $200, $250 a month, but if your gas bill is going down $500 a month, you can't afford not to buy a new car.
Right, yeah, and insurances too. You got, insurance game is changing in Florida. There's a lot going on there. The fuel, there's a potential for a fuel crisis. How's that going to look going into the future? There's a lot of things to consider online at Murphy Auto Group.
Yeah, you can go to murphyautogroup.com, mymiracleadvantage.com if you're not in Florida, and if you're in the state of Florida, go to miracletoyota.com.
Awesome. Good stuff. Mike, always a pleasure, man.
Absolutely. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Hey, my pleasure. And coming back, we're going to have Mark Hay, 21st Century Financial Group, our financial expert contributor for the Consumer Quarterback Show. We're going to talk more with him and kind of get his take on things happening out there. Geopolitical, a lot of stuff out there. Go to the website, consumerqb.com. Support the local economy by supporting our local expert contributors here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals and subscribe to the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast on iTunes and Spotify, or check out our YouTube channel. Have a blessed day.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.